Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq, coming to you live from Exchange in Miami. Joining me for this segment, we have Jillian DelSignore. She's Global Head of Investor Distribution Strategy for Nasdaq Indexes. We're going to discuss how financial advisors and retail investors are approaching the ETF industry. Jillian, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to TradeTalks.
Thanks, Jill. How are you?
You got it. And you recently started with Nasdaq.
Yeah.
Give us some background about your role and experience in the industry.
Absolutely. So I joined Nasdaq just a couple of months ago. I've been in the ETF industry since 2008, worked at a variety of different issuers, and so it's been really interesting to come to the index side of the business and kind of leverage the expertise that I have from sitting with an issuer and bringing that to Nasdaq's index partners. So I really boil my role down into three things: partnership, education, and engagement. And how do we use the expertise that I have from my past and also our expertise as an index provider to partner with our, in the US, ETF issuers primarily, to help educate them on the nuances of distributing in a variety of markets around the world. And then also, how do they engage both the financial advisor market and retail? So I think about my job as how do I help connect to the clients of our clients, and that primarily being advisors and retail.
So back to the financial advisor for a moment here. Tell us more about trends in that space and what they're interested in right now.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting. What we're seeing in terms of trends in the advisor market is actually kind of similar to what we're seeing from a distribution perspective from the issuer, and that's data and AI. How are both the salespeople at the issuers and then also advisors using data to help create a much more informed conversation with their client, anticipate their needs, and so using AI for things like next best action to really help inform and create a much more, I guess from both sides, more enjoyable conversation, because you know what they're looking for, you know what they need, and you're anticipating that.
Along with that phase, we've also seen an explosion of retail investors in the market in recent years. Can you tell us more about how retail investors and what their interest is in the ETF industry?
Absolutely. Jill, it's come up in every conversation I've had at this conference. It is absolutely a tie that is pulling through every conversation we have. Retail investors' activity on these retail platforms has really exploded since 2020. It has not slowed down. And we're seeing, what's interesting is there's this increase in activity in trading, but there's a gap in education. There's this financial literacy gap that we as Nasdaq, I think, are very well suited as being such a trusted brand to try to help fill. So we're talking to retail platforms around the world on three fronts. One is providing partnerships with our ETF and really, frankly, asset managers around the world, our partners with Nasdaq Indexes. How do we also provide education to help fill that financial literacy gap with the retail investor? And then finally, how do we provide more investment strategies to these platforms to engage their users and potentially attract more users? So it's a huge part of our focus for 2024.
So here we are at Exchange. You have all your years of experience in the industry. What are some of the key takeaways that you're getting in 2024 from Exchange?
Yeah, it's so interesting because somebody asked me yesterday, how has it changed? I've been to basically every ETF conference since 2008.
Right.
The complexion has changed. What do I mean by that? The number of issuers here and who they are.
Yep.
Right? We've seen an explosion in the evolution of who those issuers are and what they've done in the wrapper. The wrapper has changed. We've pushed the limits of the wrapper. So you continue to see this evolution across the issuer complexion, the product, and also the advisors. There's been much more adoption of the vehicle. So it's been fascinating to see, and this is a perfect example of it.
Right, and to your point, the diversity of people that are here, it just breeds innovation for the industry.
Absolutely.
So when you think about it more holistically outside of Exchange, what are the trends you expect to see for 2024?
Yeah, I think our strategy at Nasdaq from a distribution perspective is continuing to evolve. What we're doing today is not what we're going to be doing tomorrow. I think continuing to work with the advisor market and how we better engage them, and then how we better engage the retail market is what we're really focused on for this year. And I think stay tuned, because what we're doing today is going to be different from what we do tomorrow, and we're standing up to meet those needs.
All right, Jillian, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on
Thank
Trade
you.
Talks. And thanks for joining me from Exchange. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.